Yo, 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 what is up? White Trash Motorsports, staying in the house. What's going on? Unfinished project, JB's Little Shop, and Dean. Hey, I understand, Dean. Keep on trucking, man. You guys keep the country rolling, man. JB, hey, do what you gotta do, man. If you're working in the shop, work. That's all good, man. I understand that. That's what I do a lot of times, even back in the day with Tony. If he was live, I would go on and I'd throw it on in the background. It's all good. Understandable, man. What's up, Dakota? You want to join me tonight? You got your iPad charged? Howdy, howdy. How's everybody doing tonight? Huh? Try it. Cool. I hope you do. But what's up, everybody? Let me get a link in here. Oh, there I am being dumb again. Da da da. What a dummy. You're saying I'm a dummy, right, guys? Right. So, is it cold where you guys are at? I know here it sucks. It is cold in the Northeast. It's one of those things. It's supposed to get back to 70 by the end of the week. Now I got my shop door locked. Lock my shop door because we're going in there tonight. But yeah. Yep, I'm getting her, buddy. Thanks a lot, Dakota. I'm getting you set up right now. I'll get some links in here. Just comment. I was locked out of my shop there. If you guys would have seen that, I just rolled in and I was like, yeah. Peace. Boom. All right. The comments posted. We're out here. Thanks a lot, guys, for popping in. Sorry, us, we're always a little. We're out here in the shop. I don't know. It's like 45 degrees today. Good news is I've located a good shop heater, so I'll be setting that up probably next week. I found an industrial warehouse shop heater that we're going to hook up. Spencer's Food Reviews. What's up? JD, thanks for popping in, man. I know how it can get busy. No doubt, man. It's always busy around here. It seems like it never ends no matter what we do. It's always something. Definitely, man. Life is busy, especially this time of year. I don't know. It seems like I'm more busy in the off season than I am during the big season. But it's trying to get everything ready. Good news is that I was noticing today. This made a 14-minute long video, Dean. Cool. We'll have to check that out, Dean. Everybody out there, Spencer's Food Reviews just got a 14-minute video out. Get a chance, go over there, check his channel out. Check out JB and Unfinished Project. We got a good community here. It's everybody. Oh yeah, it's a little cool, dude. It's like probably 45 degrees in here or so right now. I don't have any heat on right now. I usually have a wood burner in here, but this year we're gonna try to come out of the Stone Age, and like I said, I got a natural gas shop heater coming, one of them ones that like hang from the rafters. So we're gonna get that here. It'll help when we want to come in. That way, we come in the shop, we can just keep it 50 degrees in here or so when we're not working in here, but then we can just come in and fire it up when we're ready to roll. Let's see, looks like Dakota is ready to join us. So let's go ahead and add Dakota. What is happening, Dakota? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Got me the earbuds
man.
this time. The way I can hear you good.
There you go. The wheels look good on the car, man.
What's it?
Nothing like a 10-inch wide wheel.
Yeah, I love them, dude.
Yeah, definitely looking
dude,
good, man. Yeah, it really on those cars it fits. Yeah, that's sweet. I seen you was asking. I was gonna say when you was asking about 373 gears in a Turbo 350. I seen you asking that last night. It's not too bad, but you will run. My car runs about 3,200 RPMs at 60 on a 28-inch tire. I mean, it's livable. I got a little bit looser converter, so the RPM's up there a little bit. It's not bad, but you got her there, bud? Is it all good now, Dakota?
Kind of acting up, man. little earbuds was just like making a bunch of weird noises.
Oh, that's weird. Can you hear me without them? You might just have to. It's hard to
I
do.
can hear
That's
you
the
without
problem.
them.
All right. Well, you're not feeding back too much, Dakota, so that's good. I mean, if we had a lot of feedback, it'd be different. You're not echoing right now. You sound good on my end, so we'll just roll with it. John Wilburn says hello, Dakota. Two Hacks, what's up, buddy? What's up, John? Thanks for popping in.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I can't
We
read
like
the
having
comments, so
Dakota
y'all
here.
can say all the
Yeah.
stuff.
I'll read it off for you what I see. Yeah, but man, Firebird's definitely coming along. Good to see it. You're gonna bring it out next year, though, aren't you, Dakota?
Man, I think I'm gonna try, man.
Try.
You know?
Well,
it's like
I
this
think
all
you
this
may.
stuff,
Yeah.
like they talking about you need a helmet and all this stuff.
Oh, come on, guys. We'll find you a helmet. Come on. You don't think there's not enough? You don't have enough support in this community? Really? Come on.
Man, you know, my cars, dude.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, I know you want to do things on your own, and I appreciate that because most kids today don't. But believe that, man, you have a lot of fans out here you've been with us all the way, man. Yeah. Anything we can do to help, we'll help you.
Oh yeah,
it's not like you're asking for it, but we want to do it for you. If there's anything we can do to help, we'll help. What's up, Lars, Roy Boy, John Wilburn's in the house. So what are you going to run on that? Just a 275/60? Is that your plan?
Yeah, I was thinking about a 295/50, but honestly, man, them 275/60s on it, I think that's what I'm going to go with. Just because they're a little bit taller, and I think it'll help out a little. Yeah, that taller tire will definitely help with the gearing. With being a 373 gear, it'll help a little bit. Plus, if you run a 28-10-5 on her, at least you know about where you're at because that's pretty much what a 275 is. So exactly. They want to know. A 275. Well, 275 60/15 is about 28 inches tall. So. Is that what you run on your car? Yeah, I run a 28-10 Hoosier on mine. Let's see. Dean wants to know, Dakota, how do we really know it's you? Well, you don't know. I mean, I could be an impersonator. It's just, I got my driver's license. We're all good. Nah, it's Dakota. We got Dakota impersonators. Now, look at that. You're so famous that they think you're being impersonated. That's all good, man. I mean, I could be an alien. I could be FBI agent. You wouldn't know. No, we wouldn't know. You might have been sent it. You might be the EPA undercover coming to try to get us all. Yeah, it could be, that looks like an emissions violation. There are two turbos. That don't look good. No, those are catalytic converters. They're just fancy. Yeah, alternators give you a little quicker start. No, those are just new, catalytic converters. Yeah. Officer, my mufflers can't be too loud because my car doesn't have any. Yeah, man. Yeah. So what's new? It's probably warm where you're at, huh? Well, today's kind of like the first cold day, man. Yesterday it was pretty cool, but it was like 40 today, man. And here, man, compared to what it is or has been, that is pretty rough today for us, Oh, I have 40 in Georgia, man. Them guys, they got their snowsuits out and stuff. It look like they're going snowmobiling. Yeah, man. I was over at this one guy's house. He's got a building that we're wanting to build a building pretty much the same dimensions as his, and we was checking it out. He's got these little ear cover looking guys, man. I mean, I was like, what? You lose most of your heat through your head, so I mean, yeah. I've never seen anything like that, man. See, John said that too. He said about all you have to do is try, with no name. He said, and you got it in the bag, which that. He said you'd have more support. You would have more support there than just anywhere, man. Like I said, you've been around here for years. You've grown up in this community. You're kind of like, the community stepchild, I mean, we'll look out for you and teach you our ways, good or bad, but we'll teach them. Yeah, man. I mean, I've hung around for a reason. I like all y'all guys. You know, y'all all seem just like some cool, good car guys. You know.
Well, yeah, and you want to learn. That's my thing, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of guys on here. When you spend your whole life learning how to do this stuff, man, there's nothing like when you find somebody that wants to just learn some of that knowledge. It's like you've accomplished something when you get to pass a little bit of that on, and it really. I know that's how I feel, man. I love to teach people what I've learned. That way they don't make the mistakes because I've made a lot of them. And I used to be part of that crowd that you'd get a motor that ran and you had to bring it home and rip it all apart because, you got to go through it and put new bearings and stuff in it. And then I fell in love with the LS motor and I quit doing that. I don't even look at it. Just don't take it apart. Don't let the magic out. Just throw a turbo on it and run it. If it ran for 200,000 miles and didn't have a problem, the truck rotted out around it, there's a pretty good chance when you put it in your car, it's going to continue to run good. So just leave it alone. You get in there and start screwing around, you're not going to make it more reliable. You're probably going to make it less reliable when you're dealing with stock stuff. Now, yeah, when you're dealing with high-end race stuff, yeah, you got to work on that. But for what we're doing here, we're just screwing around.
Yeah.
But you got real Pontiac
that's
power.
real impressive, man.
It's just like I said, it is. I'm humbled that everybody believes that, but it's literally, dude, if you see it, you'll see it in person. Most people, it's just junk thrown together, man. It's just, I got lucky and you can't, with that recipe, you can't go wrong, honestly. It's become that simple now.
That's what's really cool about that, man.
Yeah, that's, we struggled years ago. We had, like I said, when I was 16, 17 years old, we had small Gara cars. So we were running around, maybe 200, 300 horsepower. And we thought we were the fastest ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you, man.
JB's, he's been teaching Lars for a year on 2.8s. He still don't want to mess with one. Those 2.8s are a special breed. I've only ever had, I think, 2 vehicles with a 2.8 in it. I had a front-wheel drive version of that 2.8 and a Celebrity, and I had an 84 Jeep Cherokee that had that 2.8 in it. Right, that was before Chrysler bought Jeep, when they ran that 2.8. Lars says a 2.8, what's that? That's that 60-degree thing that Chevy thought was a good idea. Now, they're not bad motors, and like I said, the 3.1 multi-port, which is a little bit bigger version of that motor, it actually runs extremely well. That's a good swap in those. Or I think, what is it? The 3.4 shares the same bolt pattern. And then in the later model stuff, we got that, I believe that 3.9 that's in our police cars, a derivative that started with that 2.8 along the way. But I know it shares the same bell housing, but a lot could be different. He says you change your mind when the blower hits it. Hey, boost changes a lot of people's mind. So, on your air cleaner, Dakota, you say you got too tall of an intake. That's your problem.
Yeah, man. That one, it's about an inch and a quarter.
I was trying to explain it. Yeah, I was trying to explain like my idea. You ever see an air cleaner has like that drop down base where it drops the whole air cleaner down over top the carburetor like an inch or so? You could cut one. You could cut one of them drop down bases out and weld it into a stock box maybe to connect that up to that shaker scoop.
Yeah, well, man, the stock assembly, like them second gens, they got a pretty low. They got I mean, you'll be doing good if you got a former RPM intake on a small block Chevy, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know we had a second gen Trans Am. I know what you're talking about. I think what he ended up doing with his is he just took some windshield urethane and just urethane the scoop to the bottom of the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That
rubber seal is I don't know, around about that thick. It's probably over an inch tall, man. Just that rubber seal that goes around the shaker.
Yeah. Oh, this turd we had that was a 79. So unfortunately had that 403 Oldsmobile motor in it, which wasn't really too spectacular.
Yeah, well, what many of them spectacular from the factory was there?
They're beautiful though. It is a beautiful car. It doesn't matter, and that's what the aftermarket's for, to make them go.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. But man, them air cleaner bottoms from the factory ones, they're already dropped pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got just a generic 14-inch little chrome unit.
Yeah, I see it, and Yeah, I know that hurts your airflow because of that element only being like an inch and a half high. I know it's restricting your airflow, but you'll figure it out. I guess if you run it down the track, just take the air cleaner completely off and let her breathe. Just remember, get you a solid bowl of velocity stack and stick on her. I mean, you already got a hole cut in the hood, so you don't got to feel bad about cutting a hole in the hood.
Exactly, man.
You just put a velocity stack on her.
Man, I've got a 100% perfect, 99% perfect, just a flat hood for a Firebird like that, man. And dude, if I could get me a tunnel ram intake, man, I'd cut me a big old, just a square hole in it, man. You know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Tunnel rams are always cool. You can't go wrong with a tunnel ram. Let's see. Dan Stevens says, aliens, FBI agents. He says, I'm a foreigner. They're all the same to me. I know it's you, Dakota. One of the 10 anyways. So, all right, Mr. Co. He knows it's you.
All right, good deal, man.
You can, that way of turning the drive shaft, heel jack, you can get a ballpark figure. You're not going to get it exact by that because basically, like, the easiest way to understand the gear ratio is like if something, say, is a 373, basically the input shaft turns 3.73 turns every one turn of the tire. You know, like I said, you can get a ballpark in there. You're not going to be able to tell the difference between, say a 323 and a 327 or something. But yeah, you can rotate it like that. With a posi, it makes it a little bit easier because with an open rear end, if one tire is on the ground, the second tire is going to turn twice the revolution. It's going to turn 2 revolutions for every 373 if it was a 373 gear. That's why a single wheel pill really smokes the tire once it breaks loose because you're cutting that gear ratio in half once that breaks loose. Because it'll just the way the side gears are spinning, it just cuts the gear ratio down. That wheel picks up a lot more speed. That's the key to a smoky burnout's wheel speed. When I had the 273 gears in my car, man, I could just lay serious flag march and just you could cloud up the whole area because with 273 gears, you could be in second gear. You could have that tires rolling 80 miles an hour. Automatic sometimes arithmetic isn't good. Nah, that's all right. Now, I know how it feels, man. Anything, but after you run out of fingers and toes, that's when it's time to break out the cell phone calculator. It's all good. Easiest way, though, honestly, is if it's a pan style, just drop that pan. I mean, but depending on what you're working on, like Fords, it's usually in the door tag, the axle code's in there. Because I got a list of axle codes here if you're looking for 8/8 of which ones for the Explorers, which codes have the track lock and which one has the different gear ratios. But yeah, that's about the easiest way. But the only way to confirm 100% is just either is you don't know if somebody changed. I just ran into that nightmare. I worked on a Jeep Cherokee Saturday, or no, it was Sunday. It was Sunday I worked on it. Tore it apart. When he had a leaky wheel cylinder, went to the parts store to get a leaky wheel or get a new wheel cylinder. Come back, the wheel cylinder they sold me was the wrong one. Here ended up being that somewhere along the lines of things at 99, between 99 and now, someone changed the rear end in it, and they took a rear axle out of a 2-door Jeep Cherokee and didn't swap the brake drums over and the backing plate. So the 2-doors had the 10-inch brakes on the back, and the 4-doors had the 11-inch brakes. So ended up trying to rush around. I had to find a wheel cylinder because I got the thing tore apart in the alley, blocking the alley, trying to fix the wheel cylinder on it. But we ended up getting it. That's why we was running a little bit late and still running around Sunday night when we got in. Roy boy, Mopar has a tab on the rear end, the ratio stamped in. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Some Fords have it in there too. Yeah, well, no, I went to AutoZone first, Hill Jack, and then I ended up AutoZone didn't have it. I ended up going to Advance Auto to get it. And then the smaller wheel cylinder, which was like 2/3 the size of the one they sold me, ended up being like $20 more somehow. And I asked the guy about a rebuild kit for my wheel cylinder, and he just laughed at me. He's like, oh yeah, we can't get those. Like, you can't get a wheel cylinder rebuild kit? Oh, it is freaking seals and Got a light spring and a couple pistons and some rubber. But apparently that's the world we're living in. Sorry, Dakota, I didn't create it. We're trying to get by with you. But keep all your old stuff you can. Anything old you get a hold of. If you run across, you're running HEI distributor. Anytime you run across a GM distributor that's the older, the 74 to 80 that has that 4-pin module in it, anytime you see those that are factory parts, grab those. Because the aftermarket ones are garbage, it seems like. I have so many problems with them, and anytime I see any in a junkyard or anything, I make sure to grab them because one day they may be worth gold. Or running points, which I have no problem with points, but the problem is points is a wear item.
Yeah, man, trust me, I save everything. I save stuff that really needs to be thrown away, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Look at my shop. Can you tell I don't really throw nothing away? That's the problem. Because the problem is, I'll have something here, and literally it'll sit on that shelf for 10 years, and I'll never use it. And then I'll finally be like, I'm tired of moving this. I'll throw it away, and then like a month later, I'll end up needing it, and I'll be like, I'll have to go pay money for something I already had.
Exactly, man. So we gave up. We just no, whatever it is, we're keeping it.
You have to anymore. Like I said, it's so hard getting anything anymore. That's the problem. Everywhere you try to go, you can't get anything. It's either on back order or no one knows anything about it. You go to some parts monkey and he's asking you, about you need wiper blades and he needs to know if it's 2 or 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
The Excel HEI. Go ahead, Nico. Sorry, buddy.
No, man. But everything's like going up way much. Like, listen, man. A couple years ago, I was kind of getting my 455 build together, man, and I went ahead and picked up the cam. I got a Lenati Voodoo cam. I didn't pay much more. I paid like $110 for that cam. That was like shipping and all, man. This was just like maybe 3 years ago. I'm looking at the same stuff, dude. Them Lenati cams were over $200-something. I don't know how you can do it. You know what I mean?
It's gonna get tough, but and it's just the thing is back in the 1840s, an ounce of gold would have bought you a nice suit and a meal, and an ounce of gold today would still buy you a nice suit and a meal. It's just you always think of the money supply as like a pizza, man. And when they print more money, you're just cutting that same pizza into smaller slices. So that's why everything goes up. That's just a problem. Until they quit printing money, that's what's got us in the situation we're in. Yeah, I know Roy Boy Rock Auto sells a break rebuild kits, and I would have normally went that route, but like I said, it was tore apart in the middle of the alley, so that wasn't really an option. And they needed it Monday morning for work, so it was definitely not an option. But what else? What's your future plans on this thing? You just going to keep cranking at it, or what?
On what's that now?
What's your future plans on the Firebird? What's your direction you're moving in?
Well, man, I think I might just leave that paint how it is, man. And just get it where I can just run it and drive it, man. Just drive the wheels off of it. You know what I mean?
There you go. Hey, that's what cars are meant for, man.
Yeah, man. I don't get into. There ain't nothing wrong with a nice show car, but really, man, I don't need anything nice, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we can't have nice things. But no, I was just talking to a buddy the other day about that, and I was trying to explain that philosophy. I said, here's the thing, man, that if I had a really nice car and it was too nice to drive and I parked it in the garage and I never drove it, well, what's to say that, something doesn't happen to me? The next caretaker of that car might not worth nothing to them. They might just say, it's just scrap metal, send it down the road. So there, you took something that was intended to be used, a piece of machinery that's just artwork in motion, and you never got to enjoy it because you're afraid of what if, well, what if it gets trashed? Well, most popular cars, F bodies, G bodies, they pretty much reproduce all the panels aftermarket. I know now it's kind of difficult to get, but in all honesty, there's really nothing you can do to a car that you can't really rebuild it from. Even no matter how bad it's wrecked, if it ended up being that he was rebodying it or putting another shell, but you can always fix it. You know, probably fire is probably the worst thing that can damage a vehicle just because it weakens the metal so bad and ruins it. Other than burning it down, I mean, if you just run it into something or something like that, more than likely you can pull it back straight, hammer it out, keep driving it. You know, I regret a lot of cars that we've sent. We used to buy probably, oh, it's been now 20 years ago now. We used to buy them Suzuki Samurais. I'd pick them up all day long for a couple $100. We'd bring them home and just strip them apart, fill the shed full of parts, and cut what was left up because the bodies were always shot, PA bodies. Cut what was left of them up, take it to the scrap yard. They weren't worth anything. You just took it to the scrap yard to get rid of it. But I mean, hell, I'm still using parts that I gathered 20 years ago, but
yeah,
you can't find them anymore. Those things are bringing ridiculous money now. He says, Dakota, check out PDR's videos on YouTube.
PDR.
So, and everybody in here too, man, you got to subscribe to Dakota's Timeout. I seen that, man. What's up with that? You got to subscribe to my boy here. Hook him up. Let's push him over the top, man.
That's right, guys.
We need to have
it's top tier content.
Exactly. Straight out of Georgia hillbillies, along with us Pennsylvania mountain hillbillies, but hey, we wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
Paintless dent repair. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen that paintless dent repair. It's fine. Dents are character. Dents are like scars with stories that your car has. That's all. What do they always say? Scars are tattoos with better stories. That's kind of what dents are. So, but yeah, we've destroyed so many, man. You get guilt from it. There's so many nice, dude. I ran so many nice two-door Chryslers in Demolition Derby back in the day because before they opened the rules up, now the rules have gotten so far out of control here. Literally, if you don't have 200 hours in building the car and probably at least $5,000 invested in it, you don't have a chance. Don't even take it off the trailer. You're going to go out there. They're just going to freaking run over you. Your car's going to be done. Your night's going to be over, and you wasted all your time and money. I mean, they found that there's this website that's like the Demo Derby Association of America. So, and you know how an internet website does. You get everybody from all over the country, everybody trying to outdo each other. And then you get these cars that they'll get out south, find a Crown Vic. It's never had any rust in it. They'll bring it up here. They'll take the body off of the frame. They'll completely seam weld the frame. They'll solid weld all the body seams on the body. Then they'll put the body back on the frame with grade 8 bolts, 3-inch washers, and no rubber, and just sandwich the body tight to the frame. Then they'll go get like old Chrysler Imperial bumpers. You'll take the bumper shocks off and hard nose those on there. Then they'll put like, 3/4 ton truck springs into things, so the thing's setting up as high as a pickup truck. They'll put now they're allowed to run 3/4 ton rear ends underneath the things. They run skid loader tires all the way around them, and then they put a built small block Chevy in there and a built transmission. And then usually in that 3/4 ton rear end, they run like a 538 gear. That way, when the motor's hot, it's got enough gear to still pull the car around when the car loses power. Yeah, but when we started running the Chryslers, you wasn't allowed to do all that stuff. You wasn't allowed to mess with the factory suspension. So that give you an advantage. You could get the Chrysler, you could crank the torsion bars up because that's still factory. So all the Chryslers and the leaf spring cars were always guaranteed instead of bending into the ground when they got hit, them leaf springs always pushed the back end up in the air. The more you hit the back of that Chrysler, it would just keep going higher and higher until you had a battering ram back there. So we destroyed so many. I mean, a lot of them were diplomats. I don't really feel bad for those, but I had a guy give me a mint 81 Chrysler LeBaron. It was, I think it's like the last year that they were rear wheel drive. I think it had like 58,000 miles on it. 2-door, white, outside, blue interior, beautiful car. I had like 58,000 miles on it. Guy handed me the car keys and the title. He's like, here, he's like, you can run it on the road, or he's like, you can derby it, do whatever you want with it. I'm like 20 years old. It's like, oh, demo derbies in a couple of weeks. So, you know where that went.
Yeah.
And then now, like this Fairmont craze now, man. We used to run the Fairmonts in the compact class because they were shorting up wheelbases. You could ride them with the front wheel drive stuff. And now Fairmonts are worth gold now that everybody realized that they're a Fox chassis and you can put a 5.3 or any other LS in them so easily. We destroyed a lot of those, especially Fairmont wagons, man. I don't know how many of them we derbied through the years. Because you could buy them. Honestly, back then, people would give you cars in their yard. You'd pull up somebody, hey, what are you doing with that Fairmont wagon? It's been sitting there for a couple of years. All right, just drag it out because it wasn't worth anything. If you called the scrap yard, they might come pick it up and give you $40 for it, but that's about all they were worth back then. Scrap wasn't paying nothing, prior to like 2001, 2002. Scrap wasn't paying anything. I mean, literally, it was like a penny a pound for tin for years and years around here. So it wasn't worth scrapping cars. They just sat in the yard. Then when the price went up, everybody junked everything. Hilljack says a leaf spring wagon. Yeah, now I want one of those too. What I wouldn't give to have me like a 74 Chevy Vista Cruiser wagon or whatever it is, the round back with the clamshell back hatch. Around here, they've all been derbied. Them cars had like 12 bolts in them and big blocks from the factories. It's basically a truck, station wagon. No, they were two-wheel drive, but those things are tanks. Them used to dominate around here. That used to be the car that everybody was after to run before they just ran out of them. And then the prices got so high and everybody started on Crown Vics. And there's enough of them Crown Vics that they'll probably run for years and years because for all them taxi cabs that got destroyed when what was that hurricane that hit New York that time. I can't think of the name of the hurricane now, but I seen that one. There was like one lot. It was literally thousands of them Crown Victoria station wagons, or Crown Victoria taxi cabs. There were flood damage, but someone bought them for derby cars, probably.
Probably so. Man, I just don't think I could destroy any nice car, man. I don't care what it was. You know what I
mean? Yeah, but if you ran a couple piles of crap, and there's that thing that bug bites you. It's just like drag racing or off road or anything. When you want to do it, it's so much. It is fun. When you're out there and your car's like completely mangled, it's still putting around, and you're trying to make it across there. It is fun. I understand how you don't want to destroy anything, but it is fun.
Oh, I bet it is. When I was a little kid, I thought that was like the coolest thing ever, was just crushing cars, man. You know what I mean?
I was live and it just freaking just cut me off completely. It said that I was going against violation.
What would you do?
We didn't say anything.
Go relax.
Somebody reported my video.
Yeah.
But we didn't say nothing about, we didn't say nothing sexual. We didn't say the hate word.
Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, you know what to say. I don't know why. Well, start a YouTube channel. They don't kick you off for that stuff.
He says
well, they don't kick you off YouTube for that. My fiance, she was on a TikTok live, her and her friend, and said they just kicked her off and said she done something and violated the terms of service. She's like, we didn't do anything. So I told her, I was like, start a YouTube channel.
Well, there you go, man.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can tell you, Dakota, if you do ever go in a derby, which you probably won't because you said you don't want to destroy cars. But if you ever do, make sure when you make that first hit, make sure you got your head firmly against the headrest behind you, that helmet, because that weight of that helmet on your neck, believe me, I hurt my neck at 19 and it's bothered me ever since. If I sleep wrong, I wake up, my hands are, because I didn't think about that. I was first derby car I ever run. Like I said, I was like about 18 or 19 years old. I had a 78 Magnum with a 360 in it. And the first shot was about 150 dead run in reverse as fast as it would go. And I smacked the guy full track shot. And my neck just popped in. And like I said, it's bothered me for the last 25 years over that. So,
oh, man.
This is what it is. You're young, you do things that you don't think of. Just like now, my knees bother me and all that. Never thought about when I was working construction as a young guy and you're up on an 8 foot high porch roof or something. You're just like, oh, screw it. You just jump off. You don't think nothing of it. Till you roll out of bed one morning, 40 and your knees crack and creak and you're like, oh, man, I shouldn't have done all that dumb stuff. But we live and learn.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I don't want to get old then.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what they say? They say getting old sucks, but it beats the alternative. The alternative is getting dead.
Yeah.
I'm 47, man. Jack. I'm 47, so I'm starting to feel it more and more. I don't know. It seems like the man's body just seems like it starts to fall apart after 40 for some reason. Because that's when I lost up till all through my 30s, and like I said, clear to my mid 20s and my 30s. I always weighed like 140 pounds and always had a lot of muscle mass carried on me. I turned 40, and then by the time I was 42, I think I weighed like 120 pounds and had no muscle mass left. Still ate the same, still did the same activities, just lost my muscle mass slowly over a couple years.
I've heard a lot of people say that right around in there.
Yeah, go in. When it first happened, I was like, man, maybe something's wrong. I better. And I went and got checked out. They ran all the tests. They said, no, you're healthy. Everything's good. You say to some people, lose their muscle mass. I'd like to have a little bit of it back, though. Hilljack says it gets worse. Yeah, I know it gets worse, but like I said, anything on this side of the dirt's better than anything on the other side. So we'll deal with whatever we got to do as long as we got cars. That's the beauty of machines, that they take. We don't got to work on, or we got to work on them, but they do the majority of the hard work for us. When it comes to getting up that hill or getting across there, that's what the machine's for. How's your dad's project coming with the Mustang?
Let's see. It's right when I got that day I posted that video on it. He ain't messed with it today, but that guy ordered a brand new windshield for that sucker. So it'll come along, man. That guy. Do what?
Is he just gonna leave it like rough around the edges and just drive it? Is that his goal, or?
Well, man, he's gonna beat that stuff out. Use as little Bondo as he can to get it all, looking good. And I think he's just gonna blend the paint on it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Are those cars bring money around your area? Is that the deal with those, or?
I don't know, man. Well, listen, that car was that. I actually went to school with the guy for just a couple years, man. The one who wrecked that car, and this guy who bought the car from them. Oh, he got cheap, man. He got cheap, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's got a clean motor in it.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because for all of that work that your dad's gonna have in that, we pick them shells up around here for $300-400 all day. That's what I wondered. It would almost been easier just to swap everything into another shell. But yeah. See, I was never a body guy. That was always my thing, even back in high school. I would go find the nicest car I could find that didn't run. And then I went to school. One of my best friends, he was a body guy, so he would do the exact opposite. He'd buy something that was trash but ran goods. And he knew, because his dad they always did body work together. His dad done like flip cars for a local car lot. There was just a little used car lot, and he'd bring in cars from the auction. Him and his dad would paint them and send them back, and he'd get some cash for doing that. So he was the body guy. I'm always like, just rip the motor out and just dump the transmission out of the ground, take the bolts out, shake it out. You'll figure out how it goes back together.
Yeah.
One way or another. But yeah, as I said, we got to do them couple little things. You need to dual feed your transmission and stuff, but you're not making power. Don't worry about it right now. When you step up to make power, that's when we'll get some upgrades. We'll show you some things with your transmission, or when it's time to overhaul it. Because as long as you got a good case, you can always. I think the last rebuild kit, I just rebuilt the transmission in my car about a year ago. It was about last October when I put the new clutches and everything back in mine. I think I only had like less than $200 in all the clutches and all that, seals and stuff. So it's cheap to rebuild with automatics. Some automatics, like the newer ones, like the 4L or the R4100 Ford transmissions, they're like $900 for a rebuild kit. But MTH 350s are still cheap. You can get like just a basic clutch and friction kit for them for like $80. Unfinished project says $455. Now that would get her moving. It would make some torque, but you got a 400 there now, don't you?
And my Firebird?
Yeah.
No, man, it's a 455, man. It's
it is a 455?
Oh,
that's right. Okay. I was thinking 400 because my buddy's got a Le Mans with a 400 that I work on. That's why I got 400 in my brain. That thing should have no problem moving. 373 gears or 455. That thing should roll them back tires, man.
Well, man, I've only really driven on these old bald tires, and I mean, I'm talking about
When
tires.
when you get ready to nail it, make sure you got a little bit of room because you're young. You haven't done that yet. Make sure because that thing might go all the way butt straight when she lights some tires off. Once both break loose, it can get a little hairy. Because then you got the torque of the motors, the thing's just going to want to start whipping out from underneath you. So, but just you'll know, I got faith in you. You can handle it. You've been around this stuff. Your dad's done this, so it's not like you haven't grown up. And your brother's into cars, so you guys been in it and you know what to expect.
Oh yeah, man. You know, like that 1981 Camaro. I mean, I put a few thousand miles on it, man. Drove to school every day. You know, but man, I tell you why I ain't been driving it, man. Is because it was leaking fluid out of not the front pump seal, but the front pump gasket. And anyhow, man, I was adding fluid to it and stuff. And I reckon I ran it while it was low of fluid, and it's like I reckon I burnt a pump out of it.
No, it probably what it is. It'll torch the clutches if it gets low on fluid. That's what'll happen because there's not enough. When the fluid pressure gets low, it'll start aerating and it won't hold enough pressure on the piston to engage and it'll smoke the clutches. I mean, like I said, that'll be an easy fix, but that's probably what you're end up doing. See, I noticed on a lot of them turbo 350s, I've had them pump bolts seem to work loose. That's probably why your gasket started leaking. But yeah, basically though, these friction discs like this, that's what just happens when you run them low on fluid. It takes the material off of them because it's not holding with enough pressure. But that's a turbo 350's clutch pack there. But they're simple. I mean, like I said, turbo 350. I mean, the Power Glide's more simple, but the turbo 350 is probably about the simplest. The 3 speeds. I don't know, 727 is pretty simple too, and 904. I guess they're all not bad. But yeah, it is what it is. But like I said, I have faith in you. There's a couple good videos, and I think Jalapa Link has a page on there that gives you all the specs and step-by-step pictures on a 350 turbo. You can put one together, no problem. You just take your time as you pull it apart, lay everything in order as you take it out. Because you'll take your front pump out. When your front pump comes out, your second gear clutch comes out with or behind your pump. It's right there, and that's pretty simple. Yeah, ASTG books. Yep. I have one here for 727, but I never had one for turbo 350. I always just picked little stuff up, just worked them and figured it out. They're not bad though. And then, like I said, there's them little tricks you can do when you make power. I mean, that 455, it might shred them a little bit. Usually, they put 400 turbos behind them 455s.
Yeah, they did, man. Do what?
I said, yeah, someone swapped that 350 turbo in there at some point.
Well, no, man. When I got the car, it didn't have no engine, no transmission, or
okay. Nothing. Yeah, so, that's just what you had.
Yeah, that's just I got that engine and transmission a few years ago. I paid $500 for the engine and transmission, dude, and it was rebuilt. The engine was definitely rebuilt because it's a brand new, it's 30 over. And you can tell it, man. And I just tore apart the heads, ported the heads, different valve strings.
That's good, yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, heck, that's a core anymore for 455, what you paid there. That's a core motor that you got to put everything new in. So, no, you'll do good, but, yeah, I was going to say, I thought factory, they had the 455s, had a 400 turbo behind them, but it's no big deal. Look, that 350 turbo is living in my car, so if I'm not ripping mine out, I think you'll be all right behind it, pretty much. Just a mild motor.
Yeah, I hope I'll be all right, man.
Yeah, I think the factory rating on like a 350 turbo, they say they're usually good to about 450 horse. So,
okay.
That's probably about where
I'm going to be up there, man. You know what I mean? Close.
Yeah, but like I said, and then if you do that dual feed mod, that ups it there because that's usually what you usually burn in them is a direct clutch. And when you dual feed it, you increase its holding power by 2. I said the biggest mistake people make with them 350 turbos is they want them to bang hard from second to drive. But when you do that, there's that center carrier in there where your sprag's at. When it makes that 2-3 shift hard, that all that bang that you're feeling in the drive line's also going into that one-way clutch is getting hit that hard. And that's usually what fails in the 350 turbo. That sprag will fail. But you can put a 4L60 one in there. No, I'm not even running Kevlar discs in mine. I'm just running the basic. It's a better one. It's the red clutches, the Alto Red or whatever, but they're not Kevlar. It's just basically like a stage 2 above stock. It was just a cheap kit. I actually got it from Vance Auto on a weekend because the transmission I had, I broke that center support at it, but that was my fault. The snap ring, when I put the transmission together, and I don't know how it stayed together, but I traded together, ran it for 2 years. There's a snap ring that holds that center support in. I must have, there's a little spacer there. It's called the anti-clunk spacer thing. And I must have not got it in there where it needed to be. The tip of that snap ring is supposed to set right at the end of that. And I must not have had it there. And eventually that snap ring walked out. And then when it did, it let the sprag come forward and it just took the lugs out of the inside of the transmission. So I went and found another case and just rebuilt it. No, I ended up now, like I'm keeping spares. But I got a power glide I'm going to put in the car for next year. Hopefully, if everything works right over the winter here, we're going to put a power glide with an aftermarket planetary, and we're going to do it. It needs a custom converter, and I want to do a trans brake in the car.
Really? Heck yeah.
Yeah, because that'll help the launch on it. Even on the street, it'll help the launch because the car will hook on the street. I don't know how. Well, it hooks out of dumb luck. Honestly, I listened to Tony on there when I did the suspension because I was talking to Tony one night about, I know you've heard the G-body shuffle. You've heard probably the term. Everybody says the G-bodies have a G-body shuffle, that they wiggle when they launch. And I was on a live with Tony one night, one of his lives. I asked him a question about it. He's like, yeah, he says it's to do with your upper legs. He says they're not angled right from the factory because the factory was more concerned about ride, obviously, than putting horsepower down because it was the era when, a 354 barrel only made 180 horsepower. So they weren't really concerned about putting power down. So he's like, they just designed it for a better ride. And he's like, take your upper control arms on your rear end. He says, raise them about 2 inches. That way they'll intersect. Like if you considered that if they continued on a straight line, how you draw an imaginary line off of your links on a 4-leg car, but those 2 bars should intersect at about the center of the crankshaft, which is about where your center of gravity of your car is. And that helps with, instead of the rear end squatting and wanting to wiggle, then when the rear end twists, it forces the rear end down and back as the car lunges forward. It lifts the rear suspension and that plants the rear axle. As you're lifting, the whole front of the car comes up, but it also lifts the rear axle too and plants the tires. I followed Tony's advice when I put the 8.8 in there, and it worked. I said that car with 12 pounds of air pressure in them 2810s, they'll hook on blacktop pretty good. I mean it.
Really?
If I leave on 5 pounds of boost and just ramp it straight up to like 18 PSI is usually where I run it on the boost controller. At that point, it'll leave just like the slightest black, which they call it black track, I believe, just like the slightest haze. You can see where the tire was slightly spinning, but not enough to get any smoke and not enough to lose control. It just black tracks.
We figured it out.
What happened?
It's TikTok.
Would TikTok mess you up and kick you off?
It's messing everybody's up.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to try to figure out how to send a ticket and shit like the TikTok to figure out, a lot of it. Because I try to do a video.
Yeah.
Won't even post it.
I still want to say hi. We got Dakota. Dakota joined us tonight.
And Edith said for you to let her know how to set up a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we can help her set it up. Yeah, my fiance Amanda just walked in. She said TikTok's kicking them all off. You guys shouldn't misbehave. Yeah, I don't do TikTok either, but
oh, I do.
Her friend actually doing good on it. She's making money on it already. She had a couple videos go viral and she's making money off of it. Yeah, here we are struggling with YouTube like idiots. Who would have known we could have done completely senseless stuff and made money?
Go do TikTok. You'd be making a lot of money. You be thinking that.
Yeah, I know. TikTok didn't throw Grandma off. They threw Amanda off.
Yeah.
Grandma don't know how to TikTok. She just pops into our YouTube channel every once in a while when she's around. It's cold out here in the garage tonight. Well, you're kicked off. I guess I can go in the house where it's warm. I come out here because I didn't want to mess your live up.
You didn't have to. TikTok did it.
My mom, Joy, she says, hi, Dakota. Which is
Hi,
Grandma
Dakota.
that comes on here.
Is that the young one?
Yeah, Dakota's, yeah, he's the 17-year-old.
He's the what?
He's 17.
Man, what the hell?
I know, it has
I'm
bad
18 years old
influence.
now, man.
Oh, he's 18 now.
That's right.
Still, he's 18 now. I don't want to mess up. He's 18 now.
Yeah.
But he comes here and hangs out with all of us bad influence, all of us older speaking guys.
Does he know what he's getting himself into?
Yeah, he knows what he's getting into. He's been hanging out with us for a long time. He's been on. I think I've known because he was probably, what was you, like 15 or so when you wandered on to Uncle Tony's, wasn't it?
He was
pretty
around
young.
in there, man.
Here,
Yeah.
Duke.
Yeah, I think he was, yeah. Because how old was you when John come down that time? When Wilbur come down to your house?
Dude, I think that was last year, man.
Was it last year? I thought it was the year before. I don't know. Things happen around here so fast. But yeah, I think he was like 15 or something when you first wandered. Because Uncle Tony's been what now? He's 4 years that he's been doing this, I think.
That's probably right, man.
Yeah, so yeah, we've practically watched him grow up and pass all the bad habits on to him.
How are you? Do TikTok.
No, we're sticking with YouTube.
No, man, I don't know about TikTok. That's Chinese.
I mean,
Here, hear him. He says you don't want TikTok because it's Chinese. They spy on you. That's the only problem with TikTok.
it's not Chinese.
Who do you think owns TikTok?
It is not Chinese.
Well, how come when Orange Man Rad was president, they was going to ban it?
TikTok is not Chinese.
How much for that?
I ain't betting you
Communist.
shit.
Google it.
I ain't betting you shit.
Where you at? You're over by Atlanta, ain't you? Dakota?
I'm pretty much 2 hours north of Atlanta.
2 hours north. You're upper closer to South Carolina.
Oh, I bet you it's a cool.
Well, no, I'm on the other. I'm like right by Alabama and Tennessee, man.
Well, then you're south of Atlanta, right? Oh no, Tennessee. Okay, yeah, that's right. Never mind. Yeah, if you run the other way, you're going towards Tennessee too. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think
that's
because I come down 95 from when I come down from South Carolina down to Atlanta. We come down on 95 that way to get in here. Or is it 95? 95, isn't it? I think it's 95 from somewhere there. 95 runs down the coast.
How far are you from Birmingham, Alabama?
Well, let's see. I got my phone here. It's at least a few hours.
No, but he's close to Alabama.
Yeah, it's a few hours. I know because when I was in Atlanta, we drove to Birmingham one day. It took us like 2 hours to get there.
Hi, Hill Jack.
2.
I love his accent, though.
Yeah, I know. We're just giving him bad influence. We like when Dakota joins us, so we have fun with it.
Yeah, man. Online it says Trenton to Birmingham is 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
You're not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Nope.
There's a dog wasting the tripod again. As always.
I'm gonna yell at dogs.
Oh, I get going. They're fine. They always knock the tripod
Behave.
over.
So they're gonna try to figure out how to, like, we're all gonna try to.
Yeah, you guys will get it. But yeah, TikTok is China. And we know I know it's China too, but man is stubborn. She doesn't pay.
Well, if they're paying you, man. Shoot.
Yeah. I was there was something real interesting. The other guy that was talking about it. It was, I can't think who it was. It was a guy who was on YouTube. He was talking about it. He's like, psychiatrists figured out that the Chinese were doing TikTok because they was messing with, American children's minds and getting them to where they can only absorb things in like 15-second, 30-second clips. They said that they said that psychologically it's, they was doing it to like mess up their attention spans, just like the weak in our country. And
I don't doubt it, man.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt that either if they thought they could get away with it. It's just disappointing that, that's the way that YouTube's had a good platform since 2006, and the platform's gotten good. I mean, they do some things I don't agree with, and they do censor some things, but it's their platform. They can do what they wish. But I understand the shorts, and you can use the shorts as like an advertisement, but I wouldn't want to see YouTube go to an all short format like TikTok. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
That would kill the stuff that we're doing. How are you going to teach somebody how to, adjust the valves in a big block Mopar, with 30-second clips?
You probably won't, man.
No, I guess you wouldn't at that point.
Well, man, you remember those Uncle Tony videos? Everything you need to know about a carburetor in 1 minute, and he throws it over him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when he used to do that. Yeah, I love them videos, man. I like the one he did, like when he's like first starting. Remember when he runs off into the woods and he's hiding back there under the trees, and Kathy comes up. She's like, "Here, I got a cigarette." And he's like, "Coward!" I'm like,
Yeah, man.
He's like, "Come on, Tony. I got a cigarette." She's holding it out, and he takes it. He's like, "Well, maybe we can do this." I love Tony, though, man. His personality is just so good with that channel.
Oh, man, he's good at what he does, dude.
Yeah, he is, and he's entertaining to watch because he makes you laugh. He doesn't like the attention that people feel that way with, but his personality makes him who he is because you got to laugh at him.
Hey, we have a question.
What?
we're just wondering. That's all.
What?
Are you warming your feet up? Or are you keeping food warm? Which one?
No, I just got my leg propped up.
Well, we was just wondering. I mean,
I can't prop my legs up.
No.
I'm glad to come in here now. It's cold in Georgia though too. Don't tell me. He said it was in the 40s yesterday down there. 40s in Georgia.
I heard they had to say that.
Yeah.
That's cold for Georgia. 40.
Definitely.
No.
I mean,
It was
this
80
pretty much the first
yesterday,
cold
and
day.
where did Sugar say she was from?
My daughter at her place, she said they're
South
getting
Carolina.
almost 3 inches of snow. It's like 2.68 inches of snow tonight at her house tonight and tomorrow. And she already was snowing today at her house. Well, you see, I know you watch Dan up there, DD Speed Shop.
Yeah, I watched some of his videos, man.
Did you see he got snow on the ground already? I mean, snow.
They can keep it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I just watched his one video today. He was walking around, the ground was white around him. He's like, and he was talking about, but he's far up in Canada. He's like, basically, they have summer and it goes to winter, and it's just there is nothing in between. Because just like video he put out like 2 weeks ago, they was in t-shirts and stuff, and then he did a video like said today he was putting cars away for the winter, and he had snow on the ground, and he's like, winter's finally here. It's time to work on my project. Heck with that, man.
Yeah, I'm not into it. No,
Get away from there. Okay.
I mean, I want to go, like I said, the more I see, I would really like to get around towards Tennessee down in that area. I mean, I liked Georgia when I was down there, but
I like your Georgia.
I'm just really liking Tennessee, man. It just, especially for me too, because as an off-roader, I talked to a few people, and I guess there's some pretty sick trails over there in Tennessee too. They got a nice off-road vehicle parks and stuff over there where they go in Tennessee.
He's from Georgia. So, I'm from Georgia.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people around
Hey,
here.
can you send us some peaches?
Why does
Some
Dakota want to
peaches?
send you peaches?
I want Georgia peaches. Duh.
Where do you think the peaches come from in the store?
Yeah.
I want peaches.
Probably California. But,
Probably from
I
Mexico,
want
man.
peaches.
yeah, hey, that's modern technology. When you want a ripe, fresh, soft peach in January, it's got to come from somewhere.
Exactly.
I want peaches now.
There's a can in the cupboard.
I don't
No,
know
it's all
anybody that
good.
really does any peaches.
He doesn't know anybody does peaches.
He's from Georgia, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the Peachtree State, but
I mean,
that don't mean he's got peaches. He's got hot rods.
Yeah, he got hot rods.
His dad got a tractor with a flathead Ford motor on it. I mean, that's hot rod stuff.
That's all I want. Is peaches, and a girl cannot get peaches.
You can't get on the video.
They got canned peaches at the Walmart.
No, I want the peach. They're about this big. Some of them. You
Dude,
get
where are you
down.
going?
They're about this big.
Yeah.
And then whenever you buy them from, they're nice and juicy. And the juices are down.
What's up, Schultz?
Oh, you mean he finally got on there?
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Schultz.
Yeah, we're about ready because we're not going to keep Dakota for too long. Sure, he's got other
Oh,
stuff
y'all
to
ain't
do.
bothering me a bit, man.
Your iPad usually doesn't. You said it don't hang in there that long either. So let me know though if it starts going dead.
Oh, it's at 41%, man. It's
Oh, we're
You
good
know,
for a couple.
yeah, man. I mean, I've had this sucker for I don't know, probably more than 5 years, man. And it's done
Yeah.
its job, dude. You know what I mean? They ain't built
See,
to last much longer than that.
My older stuff like that won't work. I got like,
Huh.
I got a.
Not new, Schultz.
I'm not sure what tablet it is. It's an older. It's a cheap, and it's an Android-based tablet. There's not even no updates for it anymore. Like I can't update the browser or anything. It says it's too old. The Android's too old to update the browser, and there's no updates available for it. So basically, they just stopped supporting it.
Hey,
Yeah, that
Tommy!
Now I got-
what it is.
Yeah, I got like.
As long as there's some peaches
I
up in
found
here.
a couple of my old Galaxy phones the other day and was still able to like go on YouTube and stuff with them because I had them powered up just to see like what was on them, and they worked. But that tablet I got won't work.
Anybody want some nuts?
That and I got to get a new laptop. Dude, I'm still tuning with the laptop. The laptop I'm tuning my car with, I bought in 2011. So I'm surprised it even works being that old. But it works good for tuning because tuning doesn't take a lot of stuff. You don't got to be on the internet or anything to tune. It makes it easier with a Holly because you can just go in there and instead of taking it and putting it in the handheld and trying to do it with a little touch screen, that kind of. It's nice to have that ability if you're out on the road to be able to do it. Like when we was at No Name, and I was at in the staging lanes, I was able to change the rev limiter and things like that, and change like the nitrous boost ramp to the nitrous ramp. You can do that with a handheld, but it's a lot easier to do with the computer because you can't see the fuel map and stuff on the little 3-inch touchscreen that comes with the Holly. But it's easier, with anything. I mean, a lot of stuff's easier to do with a laptop. Obviously, you're on a tablet versus a laptop, you're gonna have more power on a laptop. Having a mouse sometimes makes things easier than trying to. I know. Anymore, I find myself though, if I'm standing there next to a TV, I gotta catch myself because you're wanting to touch something on the screen because you get so used to touch screen. It's like, oh no, never mind, that don't work.
I did that with my computer.
Yeah, you try to touch your computer
Because,
screen?
so my laptop from school
Yeah,
is a touchscreen,
yeah.
and I was using it next to my computer, and something came up on my computer, so I reached out towards my monitor,
These
and I was
dogs
about to
keep hitting
touch
the
my
tripod.
monitor, and I was like, it doesn't do that.
I need to get out of there.
They keep hitting the tripod. the dogs.
Dixie?
Everybody
Playing
out there is
trains,
getting
that's
bounced
where I'm
across the kitchen.
That's where I'm at. I'm trying to play with trains.
All right. Well, here, I got a few for Dakota. Say hello to Dakota real quick. Tell me why. I'll be right back, Dakota.
Yeah.
Tommy,
He's failing.
What's happening, brother?
Hi. Well, I'm just in my room playing with trains. I mean, trains have diesel engines. They're like diesel trucks. They have engines. I mean, they make a lot more horsepower, and the turbo is more powerful. But, similar concept.
Yeah, right on, man. You're right on, man. So is that what you're into, like diesels and stuff, man?
They're pretty cool. I mean, I really like Tesla. The Model S Plaid, how fast they go.
Tommy Honda.
Yeah, they know
Honda.
anything about it, dude. They're quick.
Jack said Tommy Honda.
Yeah, the one that goes 0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds. That's the one I really like. It's cool. Hi, Hill Jack. He's talking about the Honda.
Well, then Teslas, they'll do 10s in the quarter for a
Yeah.
little while, won't they?
The Model S Plaid, I think it does 9, close to 8 in the quarter.
What?
The Model S Plaid.
Yeah, Dakota doesn't care about electric cars. Dakota's got zero on his blood, like us.
Yeah.
He's old school. He's been hanging out with us since he was like 15.
Yeah. Well, you have to admit that they're cool though.
They're fast.
They're fast. And they can drive themselves.
Filter shit like that.
Yeah, well, if it'll run on gas, I don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone modified theirs to run on gas, or was it diesel?
But
What was the one? What was that guy?
Yeah,
who,
Rich Rebuilds is putting
Rich
diesel.
Rebuilds is
He's
putting a diesel in a Tesla.
I mean, it's a body shell at that point. And I would like that Tesla drive one to put something else. I just don't want the Tesla. I don't want the car it's in. I would like to put an electric drive one and something.
You'd like to get one.
That's hard
Huh?
for you to do.
If you got one, I'm sure you'd like it.
I am concentrating right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's hard for her to do.
No, I don't want Tommy because see, my problem is it's like
I mean, like you don't want. I mean, if you got one, you wouldn't
Well, we-
complain
no,
about
Can we
it.
do a Halloween
but
scene?
when we drive 15 hours, you want if we got a 15-hour trip, you want to stop every couple 100 miles and have to wait for it to recharge.
That's the only
So you
thing.
would have never made it
But
back.
see what the Teslas do, unlike the other cars, the Teslas
Yeah,
actually
Jack,
map out
you
your
know,
charges.
you know anything, Tommy? When's the Tesla truck coming out? They've been saying about it.
The
now. Where's
Cybertruck?
that? Yeah.
It should. I hope
Yeah.
they make. The
I don't think they're
Cybertruck.
making it.
I hope they do. You said it looks ugly.
Tesla's in trouble. Yeah, but someone asked. Tesla's in trouble, honestly.
When do you
because
have
the
a
government
scene,
not
alright?
backing them. That's what's
You
going
said the Cybertruck looks
on.
ugly.
Because the government's pushing all the other electric manufacturers and
Like
they're
Ford
smelling
and
Musk.
Chevy.
Yeah. Did you see where he shut off Starlink? They went on there and badmouthed him, so Starlink just
Hey,
happened to
this is
malfunction.
the
in
video you
Ukraine.
want to get right now.
Oh no, the Elon Musk said he was paying out of pocket for it, and he wants the Pentagon to pay for it since it's foreign aid. Because
Well,
he said
they was
Elon
on there-
Musk, out of the kindness of his heart, was paying for
Well, no,
Starlink.
and they was on there
Starlink.
bad mouthing him about it. They was on there and like the ambassador for them was like running their mouth about Elon and stuff. And I'm like, I would have turned it off right there. I'm like, huh, you don't need it then. I'm no good. Take my toys and going home.
But right now it's working again, but it's running out of money.
All right. But
We
we
need more money.
Tommy wants to bring his Honda out though and beat up on V8. He said we got a racer guy with us.
The only thing fun about the Honda is it's so light.
Yeah, it is light.
It's just
I got a good friend of mine. He's got actually there's a couple good friends, but I got a friend out here. He owns TRC Performance. The first time I walked in the shop, dude, it looks like you walk in Toretto's shop on the Fast and Furious. I
Really?
walk in, there's like 5 or 6 lifts in this big garage in the dining room, and he's got like the world record stick shift Supra,
Oh,
and he owns it. And yeah, it's
That's
like a
pretty
Mark
cool.
IV Supra. He has the stick shift one. He runs in the stick shift class, and then he has another one that has a turbo 400 in it. It's an automatic, and at one time I think he's been beaten out. But one time he had like the fastest Supra in the United States with a 2JZ in it. But both cars are 2Js. But he's got those in there. He's got Honda Civics up on there. You know, I mean, any kind of import Subarus. He's a tuner shop. Got a dyno and everything. But I walked in there. He built my friend had a 99 hatch. But it had basically it was a K24 bottom end with a K22 head, and it had like a 68 millimeter turbo. That car made like 800 horsepower out of that little 4-cylinder.
Is
pretty
Dakota still
impressive,
on there?
man.
Yeah.
The thing ran 9s, dude. But the other problem was he'd get about 2 passes and he'd smoke the tranny in it.
Dakota, I'll trade you. I'll send you this.
Yeah, but
You send me some peaches.
the thing's crazy, you know. But I mean, and he ain't got no peaches.
Time to go to a fruit
It's
stand.
winter time. Where's he gonna get peaches? It is winter there too, man.
I'm
Which
sure.
is fall,
Peaches are
but
done dead.
the peaches are done for the year.
Yeah,
Next
they
year,
have to.
next year he can bring us some peaches.
Dixie,
I'm sure he
you
can
want on
find a
camera,
peach or
Dixie?
two when we see him in person next year. He
You
can bring
want-
a peach or two.
Dixie, you want to be on the camera, Dixie?
Okay, I guess.
Dixie.
Well, that's
Sorry.
all we can do for now.
This is Dixie.
All right, we get the dog out of here before she knocks the camera over.
Dixie. She wants to be on camera.
Stupid pit bulls. Why is the pit bull not tearing your face off right now? Don't you have babies to chew up? Go taste babies.
She wants to be with us.
This dog gotta be. I've never. This dog, man, I'm telling you, everywhere I gotta be, she's gotta be.
Yeah, I got
Separation
you.
anxiety.
bad separation anxiety.
Well,
You need to help her get over
I know,
it.
How I
got
can
a
help her
cat,
get over
dude.
it?
I don't know.
Well,
That
you
cat of
seem
mine,
to-
it don't want nothing unless it's hungry or thirsty, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds
how
like
cats
Tommy's
are.
black cat is here. And I think it's funny because he'll come up and he'll get up there and want you to pet him, you know, on his terms. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
don't
exactly.
dare if you try to touch him when he don't want you to touch him, he'll bite
Bite
you
you.
and hiss at you. So yeah, you know, cats are always one of them animals. I figured, you know, they're always plotting a way to kill you. You know, what I mean, they just got to figure out a way to be able to do it.
Yeah.
If a cat was big enough, it would probably kill you. I really truly believe cats are always plotting a way to kill their owner. They're just evil like that.
Cats think they're the owner.
Yeah, well, that's why they're always plotting to kill you. They're just like, one day I'm going to get the right situation. I'm going to take them out.
Think about the people who own tigers and lions and stuff.
Yeah, look how that works out for them. Usually they get eaten by them. I said loyalty test: cat versus dog. Quit feeding your cat. Your cat will leave. It'll run away. It'll go somewhere else. It'll find something to eat and won't come back. Quit feeding your dog, and your dog will stay with you and starve to death and die, but it won't leave your
You
side.
see, there was these dogs in this house. The owner died. They didn't know he died for like a week. The dog started to eat him.
Yeah, because it's natural instinct for them.
Yeah.
They're animals at the end of the day. But they wouldn't eat him while he was alive. But it is natural. Dogs do that. They are animals.
Yeah, I just thought I'd pop in for a bit.
You wouldn't want your dog to eat you if you were dead. It's not going to bother you.
Let's say.
The dog might as well live.
I just decided to pop in for a bit. I was driving the Acela.
All right.
You know what the Acela is?
No, but did you get any videos done yet?
Well, I have them all imported onto my computer.
Oh, we're getting somewhere. You see my production crew here?
See, we have
That's the
to.
crew, man.
You said we have to sort them.
I know.
You said I have to go through it with you.
Tommy does help a lot on the technical stuff, but I like to get on him about it because we still got a bunch of footage. That
You said
on.
the reason I haven't started edits is you said I have to review them with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have thrown them in Premiere Pro by now and started cutting things out.
Yeah, well, you know, I told you put some music to it because I don't like doing
Yeah,
overly
copyright.
edited. You know what I mean? If people want to watch something like that, they're going to get Motor Trend or something. You know what I mean? We like to let it a little bit raw, but we're going to try to put out a little bit of a decent video every once in a while. But for the most part, the stuff I'm going to be is going to be raw. Just kind of basically how Tony does. You know what I mean? Nothing, no fancy graphics. You know, we'll just get to it. This is what we need to know. This is what we're going to show you. This is how to make it work. Like you said,
Exactly.
you want to watch, you want to hear fancy music playing between scenes and all that. Try the Motor Trend.
Yeah, man. The 30-second intro, I'm not into it, man. You know, with the loud, music. No, man, not into it.
Some people have nice intros, you know what I mean? And some people put a lot of work into them, but I just don't either. I'm not into that thing where you come on and you have 30 seconds of highlights and stuff. That's cool. But then to see it every time, I don't know. It's one of the things I find myself, you know, I got my skip on my thing on my YouTube set to 30 seconds. But it makes it a lot easier if you gotta skip through stuff. But yeah, I know what you mean. But hey, it works for them, and it must be better maybe because they got more views than I got. So
Yeah,
maybe they're doing it right and I'm doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Get
Well, that's the beauty about
bull riding music and use for your intro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I got there's stuff. We was gonna, like I said, I was gonna do instead of doing like an intro all the time. I was gonna do maybe like do a highlight video. You know, do a minute to a 40-second video. You know, and show like highlights of everything that goes on your channel. But just do that and like pin it to the top of your page or something. You know, that way if somebody catches one of your videos and just have it up there pinned to the top, you know, this is what we're about. They can click that if they want to watch that for a couple seconds and then get to it. But usually my videos just pop in, hey guys, what's going on? Here's what I got to show you. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But that's how I like it, you know, no frill. You know, chrome ain't gonna get you home. You know, I mean, my cars ain't all decked out. Heck, I think I just wiped my wheels off for like the first time this year.
Really?
It just, yeah, it's nice having nice stuff, but when you drive it every day, it's gonna get dirty. I mean,
Exactly.
when
I mean, I don't know how these. If you drive your car, I don't think you can keep it all pretty looking, man.
well, it's like, yeah, I got a couple things going for me. One thing, the car's black primer. Well, it's flat black paint. It's not primer. It's primer's porous, so it won't protect it from water. So we learned years ago, if you want a flat black car, to actually use paint, like a black primer. Because I don't know if you've ever you've seen like an aftermarket fender or door comes in black primer. If you don't put nothing on that to seal it, after a couple of months, it'll start getting surface rust through the primer.
Yeah.
So we started using flat black paint. So, but it's a flat black car. When I go to work, I got to drive quarter mile up a dirt road, and the car sets along a dirt road while I'm at work all day. The car is driving up and down the dirt road. So the car is always covered in dust when I get home anyway. I don't want to waste cleaning it. Ain't gonna make it no faster, so I don't make it run no better.
Exactly. Yeah, right on, man.
You know, and like I said, everybody was really kind to me. I mean, I'm still humbled by it, like I said, because everybody they was just talking about it last night about the car. And yeah, it's legitimate. It runs 10 seconds, but I do honestly, I can't convey that's my daily driver. 100%. I don't have now. I have parked it for the year. I got the 2001 Monte Carlo out, the SS Monte Carlo, the one that was sideswiped. I got that car out because I didn't want to go through winter without a heater this year. And really, another two is I want to put the second turbo on my car and get my car running the way it should, because that one turbo I have on there isn't enough, doesn't flow enough air to support a 6-liter motor. If it was on a 4.8 or a 5.3, it would probably be all right, but on a 6-liter, it's too small.
Yeah, I get you.
They drive fast on River Road. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's usually where the car sets on River Road, so it gets covered in dust. So, but yeah, it's. I could do a lot to that car to make it better, but then I would have to compromise what it is. Like I said, I got that big, heavy split bench seat in the front of it because I like my bench seat when we're riding in the summertime, or we go to the movies. You know, take it to the drive-in. You know, what I mean, you got a bench seat to stretch out on. You're not cramped to the console on your side. So that's better. And I don't know, they were saying about needing a cage, and I'm at the speed the car probably does need a cage, but I don't know. I would probably just quit racing it on the track. I'll just run it on the street. I don't really want a cage in the car because I'm afraid of a roll cage in a street car is dangerous. You hit your head on that cage, it's real easy to die. And I ain't gonna look like, like I escaped, with riding around with a helmet on. People will think I got the helmet on to keep me from licking the windows.
Yeah, I know it, man. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna drive around my street car wearing a helmet and look like a real tool. That, and it will probably get pretty warm in the summertime like that anyway, because it gets hot enough at the track wearing the helmet for the few seconds that you got to wear it to get on the track. But, so I don't know. Like I said, we'll see what happens. That's all I can say. I'm going to put the Power Glide in it. And when I do the Power Glide, I want to do a trans brake on it because why not? I just want one. I just think it's cool. A Power Glide's a simple enough transmission. I'll still be able to street drive it even with that because there's a company that makes a Power Glide trans brake. It even retains up to where it'll still make its 1-2 shift on its own. So you'll still be able to just put it in drive and drive it around and then work like a regular transmission. Get me one of the special helmets. That's what I was trying to say, Dwayne, but I didn't want to say being on YouTube. I was trying to be nice and PC. But yeah, I didn't want to ride around with a helmet on. It looked special. But they'll get that. And then that'll open up options because I'm gonna have to definitely that converter in there could be a better converter. It's gonna come out. It works, but it could be better. Like I said, it wasn't actually bought for the car. It was just bought off the marketplace. So the converter works, but I leave a lot on the table with the converter. The converter's too tight for what I want to do. and when you get it up on big power, it doesn't drop much. So it's probably got a good bit of slip on the high RPM once you're under load. So I want to do a better converter, but since I'm running a Holly, I want to do a dump valve on that because I'm going to street race the car. And you can do a dump valve on a Power Glide, so you can control how aggressive your converter is. You can do it on a lot of trains, but on a Power Glide, basically your charge pressure coming from your pump to your converter, they put like a bypass valve, and instead of that charge pressure going into that converter, you can dump that pressure back to the pan, and that'll make the converter stall up a lot higher. But then as you get out of track, you can close that valve up and let the converter get tight again. That way you're not slipping on the big end.
Right on, man.
And you can do that with the Holly. You know, Holly can control that, so you can set that in your tune as it comes on. And then, I'll put just an electric solenoid on there to let it make its 1-2 shift, because that really hurts me in every video you ever watch. I hardly ever, that car, it comes up in RPM sometimes so fast. I almost never make it the 1-2 shift without at least tagging the rev limiter a hair. And it's just because I'm used to now. Well, I had the rev limiter set at 7,200 for probably 2 years that I drove the car. And
He's going to be okay with what she said she wanted to
yeah, all right. Yeah, but with the rev limiter set at 7,200, I was all right. I could shift and catch it before it hit the rev limiter. When the shift light would come on, I'd bump the shifter and it would make the shift. I bent that one valve because of the valve springs I have found, and which Dave from was with Ryan at Streetcar Chronicles. He told me to change the valve springs to a set that he recommended. He said that'll fix that problem, and I can turn my rev limiter back up. But temporary to fix the problem, I turned the rev limiter down to 6,500. So that 700 RPM difference. My brain still isn't shifting fast enough, and I'm hitting the rev limiter almost every time. So, First Responder Garage, hello. He says hello, Dakota, and hello, chat people.
What's up, man?
Yeah. So with that, then I can just have the Holly make the 1-2 shift. It'll just bump the solenoid and shift.
Dixie, you better go now before you go.
But I'm in race mode, so. It'll make life easier. Then I'll only be making 1 shift in the 8th mile versus 2, so that'll help it pick up a little bit more consistent, more speed. Plus, that Power Glide doesn't use as much power as a 350 turbo because there's less weight inside you're spinning.
Ooh.
So you'll have less parasitic loss. So I think it'll be better all the way around.
I never even seen a 2-speed Power Glide today, man. And my dad bought one today. We drove about an hour to get one, man. And I mean, it was smaller than a turbo 350, man. I didn't know it gets smaller than that. But,
you see, ain't that crazy?
Hill Jack, where are you from?
Wait till you tear that thing apart because it's so simple. Remember, there's only 2 gears in that. There's a planetary. There's a planetary, the band. I think there's only 1 band in and there's 2 clutch packs.
Man, this is a fresh rebuild transmission with a shift kit. It came with the torque converter and the yoke for it, dude. And he paid $300 for it, man.
Lindenhall.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's right out the road. Cool. Oh, and Hill Jack, we're right here on Dry Hill Roads where
What
the
the hell is
shop's
his
at.
real name then?
Well, maybe you don't want to say it on YouTube.
Well, he don't have to say it on YouTube. He's from Linden Hall.
Yeah, he's close by. He's only a couple miles away.
Maybe what, 15 minutes from us?
Not even.
Not even 15 minutes?
Yeah, that Power
Cool.
Glide is cool though. See, the
That's
issue,
awesome, man.
do you know what ratio it is, or there's 2 ratios on that Power Glides?
I think this is like the 6-cylinder one.
That is not a different medium.
It'd be the lower ratio.
Yeah.
Them aren't quite as strong, but for what your dad's on,
That's
it
what
should
I
be
was
fine.
wondering.
Is he gonna put it in his car, or?
Man, I don't really know what he's gonna do with it. He bought it because it was a pretty good deal, I think. $300 for a rebuilt
That is
Power
freaking
Glide with a
awesome.
shift kit
Yeah.
and a new torque converter.
Heck yeah, that's a good deal. I mean, yeah, because he could, that's like an investment. He could just bring it home, put it on the marketplace, and probably almost double his money with no problem.
That's what I told him, man. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
He got
but then
that, and he got this GM over the counter cast iron intake. But dude, you look at this sucker. It's almost like a Performer RPM, man. But it's cast iron. You know what I'm talking about?
What did he say?
Right. Is it like the Z28 intakes?
Huh?
It's not like a factory Z28 aluminum intake. This one's a cast iron performance intake, man. It's
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, okay, but it's a Chevy one.
So you got a creeper up on there.
See, what mid-70s they used cast iron intakes on them, so it might even been like a GM performance.
This is what the
like
this
an
is what
Apple.
the
Oh no, you can't be going like.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, it was like bought from GM as a performance. That's wild. That's wild being a cast iron intake. That's cool though.
It's cool, dude. It looks like a cast iron Performer RPMs.
We'll have to meet up with him tomorrow.
There's one on eBay for $500.
I told Jack
he got this
we can
one
meet
for
up tomorrow.
$150.
Yeah, cool. Wow, that's definitely cool. There's a place for those because,
Like it.
well, that's cool because I mean, there's certain classes. That's probably why that intake so much money. There's some classes where you require a lot of cast iron intake. So
Yeah,
having that taller intake with a cast iron intake, that's heck yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
he's
that
got
better.
the reason it was made.
Who
for
said
circle
that?
track.
Did he hear me?
GM over the counter stuff.
Yeah, man. There's a microphone on these. You can
Oh
hear
shit!
you.
No, I was only joking.
We
Yeah.
might know it.
Yeah, I'm sure Dwayne says, "Hey, Hill Jack, cool man for Creeper." But yeah, he said he knows where you live, swimming
I
pool
know.
man. So he knows us.
He knows.
I'm sure he knows all of it. That's funny though. Up on YouTube, he knows all of us.
I know where you guys are.
Yeah.
He knows where she'll be.
We'll have to meet up with him tomorrow.
Oh man, it's always good though. That's cool score though, Dakota. That power glide and everything. I wish I could find my power glide. Like I said, I don't even know. I got one, but it's a bone stock power glide.
Uh-huh.
And I was gonna put it in the car, and then I started reading. Everybody's like, "Well, if you're making that kind of horsepower, they're like, you got to put an aftermarket planetary in it if you want it to live." And then other guys like, "Well, I need to get an aftermarket case if I want over 1,000 horsepower." He's right.
Did you post
Small
that
town.
on one of them Facebook groups or something?
No,
So you must live on
I
a
was
hill.
reading on Yellow Bullet about this stuff, and that's where I mean, them guys on there know their stuff.
Okay.
And I've been a member there long enough that I've already been flamed and torched years ago and paid my dues there, so I pretty much get straightforward answers on there. But because what I do right now, the car makes about 650 horsepower now by what it weighs and what it's running in a quarter, what it's trapping mile per hour wise. It comes out when you punch it in the calculator, it's saying like 650
Yeah.
over average of the run. So that's what that single 7875 on that 6 liter. I want to put another 7875 on it. I really would like to, next time I bring it back to Red Up, guys, I would like to have 1,000 wheel. Is really what I'm shooting for. And still be able to drive it. And so that's where the guys were saying, they said that a stock power glide case, they said if the car only weighed like 2,500 pounds, that I might get away with it at 1,000 horsepower. But they said that in a 3,000 pound car, 1,000 horsepower is a stretch for a stock power glide case. So, I mean, they're not much. I think well, they probably are now. They're probably double. But used to, you could get an aftermarket, like a Reed case, for like $500 for the case. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, well, that's all you can
put
do,
a man
just
in.
see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I guess Dakota here now. I got people out here close by. That's cool though. Hill Jack's literally right over the hill.
Yeah, see, I don't have a wrench on it.
Probably know the guy. I mean, he would motor it. That's cool. He's like right out the road from my house. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up for tonight, man. I thank you, Dakota. Everybody
Absolutely,
out
man.
there, subscribe to Dakota's Time Out.
That's right.
Not,
Top
don't
quality content.
just go check it out. Subscribe to it. It's good. Dakota's good peoples. He knows what he's doing. Help a brother out. Take care of him. I recommend him. I'm sure if Tony was here, Tony would recommend him. Everybody likes Dakota. He's made an
Exactly.
I
impression
said
with
we
all of
can't.
us, so check him out. So we thank you, Dakota. Appreciate everybody for coming on. Hilljack, you're close by. Dwayne, thanks for popping in. We had Unfinished Project was in here. We had Lars. Oh
Good
man,
night,
I got a
Dakota.
list.
Good night.
First Responder Garage. I'm going to go through and make sure I thank everybody. Dean Stevenson was in here. I already
And
said
Dean.
Unfinished Project.
Dean.
Yeah, I got Dean, Hilljack, Lars, Roy Boy. Man, we had a decent amount of people popping. And thanks, everybody. Lars is there.
LP94.
Yeah, that's Lars. JB's
JB's.
Little Shop. Everybody, man. It was really great. Thanks, guys. John Wilburn was in here. The man, John Wilburn. He pulled off the awesome, man. Hey, he pulled it off between him and Dallas, and it was awesome, man. For the first time, you know how hard that is to pull off, that it went smooth. It really went smooth. So
That's right, man.
So everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here Sunday night, about 7:30 p.m. Because like I said, you're always welcome, but
Right on.
you know the deal. If you want to pop in, you can pop in. But we'll be back Sunday night. Till then, everybody, remember,
Peace
race
out.
you can
You ain't
sleep in your
gotta-
car, but you can't race your house.
You ain't gotta leave,
And
but,
we'll see you
but
later.
you gotta get the
Good
hell
night,
up out of
everybody.
here.
Thanks, Dakota.
Yeah,
See,
man. Good
my name
seeing you.
is on my-
All right, good night, man. Thanks, everybody.